Hello and welcome to Crowforest, the podcast. So last time, I had just discovered that I had apparently left the wax figure mask in the woods where I was filming, and so now I have to go back and see if it's still there a month later, on account of the park in question being near my parents' house and not near my sister's house. So I know that you're all very anxious to hear the ultimate fate of this mask, so let's just get right back into it. This is another post-production section starting on May 21st of 2023. It's been a little while since I wrote last. I've just been working on the editing process, but nothing particularly noteworthy has happened. But I'm trying to get back into the habit of writing, so I'll give you an update. Today, I finally got around to re-editing the watering scene that I've been putting off forever. This scene was one of the victims of the Final Cut Pro library fiasco. Oh, right, yeah, the outdoor watering scene, not the water tossed at the window scene, which I thought it was for a moment, but it's the scene of watering the plants outside. I don't know if I need to clarify that better in the book or not. Anyway. This scene was one of the victims of the Final Cut Pro library fiasco, wherein I lost the original metadata, i.e. the actual editing of the sequence. Of course, I still had the rough cuts of the movie with this scene intact, but unfortunately I had put temp music over the sequence, and so now there was no way to separate out the music from the ambient sounds. If I muted the clips to replace the music, I would lose the ambient sound also. I opened the In the Attic library and scrolled down. Okay, delete one of those ands. I opened the In the Attic library and scrolled down to find the original In the Attic project file, the one that had somehow been reduced to 16 minutes and 52 seconds. I opened the project and scrolled to the end of it, and fortunately an earlier version of the watering scene was intact. So I copied the metadata into the new project to serve as a base for the re-editing process. Well, that will make this process a lot easier. At least I don't have to start completely from scratch. I really lucked out that the metadata was part of the recovery project. So I re-edited the sequence, but I didn't put the temp music on this time. I'm not making that mistake again. And May 23 of 2023, today I refilmed the globe spinning stop motion shot again. I wasn't quite happy with how the effect worked before, and I feel like I can do a bit better. I used the same method as before, leaving the camera running and going in and out of frame, turning the globe just a little each time. But this time I used the compass on the face of the globe as a starting point so that I would have a clear visual to remember, so that I would be able to get a full 360-degree turn. Last time I came up a little short, so every time the video looped, it jumped forward a little. I'm really not sure that I even need that first paragraph with the globe, considering I did not end up using that. I just went with the first one. This is one shot that I refilmed a bunch of times trying to get it better, but I'm like, it just wasn't any better, and the first one ended up being the best. I was having a lot of trouble with the autofocus, and when I went through and picked out frames from it, it would just randomly be like, okay, this frame is in focus, this frame is not in focus. Sometimes when I stepped out, the camera would refocus and I'd get a good crisp image of the globe. Other times it wouldn't refocus and it would just all be blurry and I wouldn't have a good frame to pick up. So I don't know. I either need more detail or just cut it out entirely. I'm not sure. I'll look into that more, but yeah, it was kind of a whole thing and didn't end up meaning anything for the project. It was just kind of a failed experiment. But I guess if you're listening to this version, you get a little extra stuff there. So I hope you enjoyed that stuff. Next, I created a flyer for the movie premiere, listing the details of when and where it would be. I even went online and found a QR code generator and made a QR code to link to my Facebook event. Hopefully I did it right. I've never done that before. I'll try to get those printed up tomorrow, and I'll see if I can find some local businesses that are willing to let me hang up flyers. Okay, and May 24 of 2023. Today, I'm going back to my parents' house for a few days, so that means that I'll finally be able to look for that mask that I left out in the woods. But after 3 weeks, the odds of finding it are not high. So I stopped at the hiking trail on my way back and walked out to where I had been filming. Once I got close to the spot, I slowed down a bit, not that I had been going all that fast before, and started scanning the area looking for either the mask or a plastic grocery bag, since I wasn't at all sure whether I had put the mask back in the bag or not. Then, after just a few seconds of looking, I saw a plastic grocery bag just off the trail, partially hidden in some weeds. I hurried over to it and looked inside. Sure enough, there was the mask, looking a little worse for wear, but still intact. Holy shit, I can't believe I actually found this. Now I just need to get it cleaned up. So, there you have it, the surprising conclusion to that arc. I don't know if you placed bets on whether it would live or not, but, I'm guessing that some of you probably did not bet on that. Although, chances are pretty good that anyone who's actually watching this has probably already heard this story from me, so, I'm not sure where I was going with that. Anyway, June 1, 2023. Today, I finally got the shot of the wax figure in the rearview mirror. That shot that I tried to get a month ago. So I went out to my car to set up for the shot, once again putting the costume onto the tripod. And this time, I had the mask. Woohoo! I didn't totally fail this time! Woohoo! I didn't totally fail this time. June 4, 2023. I'm trying to get the movie finished today so that I can send it off to Adam Mullen, my composer, so that he'll have time to write the music for it. So I watched through the whole thing, changing little things here and there as necessary, and for the most part, it's looking pretty good. But there's still a few things that still need a little work. One such thing was the presence of James's ghost up in the attic in the final scene wearing the reflective yellow jacket that he had been established wearing earlier in the film, except that he actually hadn't been established wearing that earlier in the film. I never filmed that scene. So I realized that if I wanted the final scene to make sense, I had to film it now. Kind of the last chance. So I got my camera and tripod and went out into Maureen's garage to film a quick scene. I set up her ladder next to her hot water heater, set up my tripod next to it, and started recording. I put on the jacket and picked up a wrench plier hybrid thing. I don't know what those are called. I'm a filmmaker, not a contractor, damn it. Okay, I have now been informed by my cousin that it's called a monkey wrench. I probably should have known that. And I climbed up the ladder and started miming screwing in the Okay, that's a lot of parenthetical to have. I think I should just start a new sentence at this point because, wow, that is a train wreck. Oh, God. Okay, so delete the and, new sentence. I climbed up the ladder and started miming screwing in the connectors on the top. Or maybe I was miming unscrewing it. Again, I don't know what I'm doing here. I also put on the name tag reading James and did another shot where I dramatically turned back toward the camera, bringing the name tag into frame. Pretentious? Yes. But I don't know how to more gracefully get the information across in the limited amount of space that I have. Another thing that I meant to get but forgot was a scene where Maureen gets a call from an unknown number, and she can't make out the voice on the other end, but it's supposed to be James the ghost calling from beyond the grave or something. Well, that clearly didn't happen, but I thought that I might still be able to do something like it, perhaps by simply inserting a shot of Maureen's phone ringing while she's staring down into the miniature, but she doesn't notice and the call ends. So I filmed the shot. I don't know if I'll end up using it, but now I have the option at least. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, before I was even able to film that shot, I had to find the miniature, since for continuity, the miniature needed to be on the table in the shot. But for some reason, I couldn't seem to find it. I searched everywhere for it, but it just wasn't anywhere. Seriously, how do you lose something that big? But then I remembered. It was still in the attic. So I went up and got it, and then proceeded to film the shot. So there you have it. Yet more evidence that I don't know what I'm doing. So once that was finally done, I continued to go through the movie, making little changes here and there. I added in the new shots of James into the scene where Maureen is researching his death, so hopefully that will be enough to make the ending make sense. I also ended up trimming quite a bit from the Crowforest the movie scene. It seemed kind of like cheating to pad out this movie by showing long bits of my other movie. But that also meant that this movie's runtime dropped from about 1 hour and 9 minutes to about 1 hour and 5 minutes. So this movie is not going to be very long. But that's fine. Crowforest 2 was padded all to hell, even at only 56 minutes. So really, I'd rather have a movie that's only about an hour and have it not padded out. I ended up working on the movie, and then uploaded the finished cut until after 1 a.m. I don't think this sentence is any kind of okay. I ended up working on the movie and then uploaded the finished cut until... I think this is out of order. I ended up working on the movie until after 1 a.m. and then uploaded the finished cut. How did I get that out of order? But I still managed to send it to Adam before crashing. I still don't really feel like it's completely where it needs to be, but I figure he can kind of be the first test audience and see if it makes sense. But I've just been staring at it too long to even tell anymore. Hopefully this won't require too much more work, because I am officially tired of this movie. Okay, let's go ahead and finish out one more section here, and then hopefully I'll be able to finish this up in one more episode next time. I'm on page 232 of 254, so maybe. It might be 2 more episodes, I'm not sure. But anyway, June 9, 2023. I heard back from Adam Mullen, and he liked the movie for the most part, but he was able to point out a few little things that needed changing. For example, in the scene where Maureen walks out to her car, you could clearly see my reflection in the car door. So I trimmed a couple of seconds off the shot to get rid of the reflection. Also, he mentioned that there was a line about a ghost phone call, but there was no such scene in the movie. I knew that I had forgotten to add that scene, but I had forgotten that there was already a line referring to it. But hey, I already had the idea of how to fix it, so I'll just do that. So I pulled up the contacts on Maureen's phone and changed my name to James so that it would show up right when I called. Then I placed her phone next to the miniature on the table and filmed a quick shot panning over the miniature and zooming in on her phone screen as I called on my phone. Then, once I got through to her voicemail, I left a creepy voicemail with some raspy vocalizations. You know what? How about I just insert that audio into here, because it's pretty funny, and yeah, it's you don't want to do that with your voice. It does not feel very nice. Yeah, I'll insert that there. Hopefully this will get across the idea that James the Ghost is trying to communicate, but can't form words. But either way, it definitely adds a lot to the movie's overall creepiness. After that, I just continued to go through the movie making minor changes. Trimming frames here and there, doing color correction, removing a couple of effects that didn't really work from the dream sequence. The last thing I did was to add a brief sequence to the final scene up in the attic. I wanted to show that the creepy wax figure was really just James the Ghost, who wasn't yet able to fully manifest for some reason. So I imported a still picture of myself wearing the yellow rain jacket reflected in a window, and I put the video of the wax figure on the green screen in front of it. And finally, I added an opacity effect to the wax figure footage with keyframes to make the wax figure fade out, leaving only the unedited picture of myself in the yellow jacket. I think that ties it up nicely. Hopefully other people watching this movie will agree. Once I got everything done, I exported the new edit, Rough Cut 47, because remember, I'm not screwing around here, and then I uploaded it to my YouTube channel as an unlisted video. Maureen and I can watch it tomorrow and make sure that everything's good, and then I'll send it on to Adam. And, yeah, funny story, we never actually got around to watching that, so, the day of the premiere, it was kind of new to her. It's like, oh, yeah, it was a surprise if everything actually worked out, so... yeah, we're so good at this. Anyway, that is all for today. So, next time, hopefully we'll be able to finish up, or, at the very least, in the next 2 episodes, we'll be able to finish up. So join me back here next time, and we will start with June 12, 2023. Hope to see you then.